Hello everyone, Keza here today, bringing you the Krampus scroll. Doing this one with my Firebard once again. Hopefully this video can be a bit of a guide for anyone looking to Ironman it, or if you want to do it with your friends, it's still going to be helpful. This is actually the most difficult of all the Christmas scroll instances, because it has the highest number of monsters, something like 160 to 170, depending on how many adds end up spawning before you can kill the mini-bosses, in addition to several casting goats, each of which can explode, flame strike, poison you, and almost insta-kill you if they get that combo off. So yeah, it's very difficult. And it used to be much more difficult because the timer was 90 minutes. Now it is 105 minutes. An additional 15 minutes has been added. So that makes the scroll much more doable for many people versus having to rush through and skip more than half the monsters just to complete it within the 90 minutes. Now, one of the primary objectives just to get to Krampus is to kill these goats. The one I'm fighting here is a non-casting goat, so deadly poison works really well on them. I would recommend 6 or 7 deadly poison weapons going into Krampus if you're going to solo it. In addition to that, my Firebard is also using strength and dex potions, fire bombs, and of course the fire horn. So these goats get burned down really fast, and that's kind of the point. There are several of them you have to fight, and you just need to get through them and the minions as quickly as possible, because even with the added time to this zone, I don't know that anyone could actually clear all 170-ish monsters within the time limit. So you really just have to try to blow through all this stuff very quickly and just keep on moving forward. Again, take a lot of resources with you. I have a pack horse that has a restock of just tons and tons of potions, fire horns, ash, fire bombs, all kinds of stuff. So that's definitely an essential part of going in prepared for this. Now, what you see me doing here is actually not the smartest move. I've pulled one of the red non-casting goats away from the minions so I can just focus them down quickly. I learned later in the scroll run that it's better just to hit them with a whole bunch of poison charges, and then run around them in circles while you can provo all the minions on each other, so you get more stuff doing damage to each other while the goat is still getting killed. So probably don't pull the non-casting goats, the red ones, away from the minions. Just poison them, run around them in circles, and hit them a few times with the Slayer if you can. By the way, I'm using a Vanquishing Flamebane short spear here. It's only +5 accuracy, but it works very well for this zone. And for the goats, all the red ones are the non-casting ones, so you know you can use the poison on them. And the blue ones are the casting ones, so they'll just cure themselves almost immediately. And they're just a problem. You'll see here in a minute. Alright, so once you get past all that madness and you get across the bridge, clear this front area and you can start fighting with the first of the casting goats. And the reason I make such a big deal about fighting these is because it's probably the second most difficult thing you have to do in the whole zone, next to fighting Krampus himself. Just because, like I said, these goats can have some really nasty spell combos. And I'm running a Discordance character, so if I can get Discordance off on them early in the fight, it makes it so much easier. But if you don't have Discordance and you don't have magic resist, these things can wreck you really, really fast. So you just have to keep an eye on your health, do a lot of hit and run. For me, I'm basically hit running. Every time I heal and come back, I'm doing a combo of trying to discord them. And then right after that fails, I'm also hitting them with a firebomb or a fire horn and then running back out. So it's just very quick hit and runs, get some damage in, and try not to die in the process. If you can manage to get these things down quickly, it's going to make the whole scroll a whole lot faster for you. Typically, you just keep an eye on the minions, make sure nothing's hitting you, it's all pro-vote on each other, and you should be pretty good. Something else you have to be mindful of is the position of your pack horse throughout the run. Given the number of supplies you need, it's really difficult to do one of these things without a pack horse, especially when the amount of gold and stuff you exit the zone with is way over 60k. I just don't know how you're going to get all your loot out of here without a pack horse or something. Anyways, you see me inching it up here and there. And you also see me skipping the rope bridge at first. There's a strategy to that, which is the next resurrection point is actually past the rope bridge. So if you clear the section past it first, you'll have a closer res point in case you die fighting something over the rope bridge, or even if you die fighting something over here, you can then resurrect at this point versus running around for 2 minutes to 3 minutes extra as a ghost. So clear this whole top most northern section here where the entrance to Krampus's temple is. Clear all that so that you can resurrect if needed. Something else in this zone that might give you some trouble is the Flame Assassins. These are basically the rangers that you see in the other scrolls. They wield either a bow or a heavy crossbow. The ones with the bows are actually a bit more dangerous. They just hit you a lot more often, and they'll be hitting you for anywhere from like 20 to 40. And yeah, it can take you down pretty fast. Luckily, if you do have this area cleared enough, you can use the resurrection point before it's even cleared all the way. Just jet back through the spawn and you should be fine. Anyways, poison works well on the assassins, the knights, and the red goats. So just, yeah, take lots of poison with you. If you can get some of this stuff into Discordance, that helps. If you don't have Discordance, you can just hammer it down while healing and keeping this stuff provoed. You might have to do some hit and run like I do. Just figure out what works for you against these guys. So what'll just happen, move my pack horse all the way to the entrance to Krampus's lair, and now I'm fighting the final goat that's alive here. There's 9 of them. This is the last one in this caster. Now it's up to you if you want to clear everything that's across the rope bridge here, but I don't. It's more important to me to get into Krampus's temple area as quickly as possible, so there's no need to clear that spawn at the back of the rope bridge area. Just kill that goat and then go in, and you can start working on the mini bosses inside there. Now, unlike the 4 original Christmas scrolls, none of these mini bosses can be provoed on each other or anything else, so you do have to kind of face tank them or use poison, mixture of hit and run, whatever works for you. So I definitely recommend taking on all the mini bosses here one at a time. Once the mini boss is down though, if you're comfortable with it, you can always start on the next one while the spawn from the first one is still fighting amongst itself. It's not a bad way to save yourself some time. Now, I don't know what the barding difficulty is on the battle mages here, but it seems really low, because I can pretty much land discordance on them the first time every fight, in which case they, lose magery skill through that, and they do not flame strike me. So I just run up to these battle mages, discord them, and mash them so fast that they never get off more than one set of spawns. So that's very helpful. Even without discordance, they're not nearly as difficult as the goats. I'm not quite sure why. They just don't seem to cast as much. But anyways, so the battle mages are, I'd say, actually the easiest thing you have to fight in the temple in terms of mini bosses. The rangers can be hard if they have a bow, if they have a heavy crossbow, not as hard. And then of course the knights are the hardest thing. They just mash you relentlessly and take a good bit longer to kill than the other mini bosses, so be ready for that. Alright, so after killing 6 out of 8 of the mini bosses that are around the temple, Krampus will spawn. I killed that last one with 25 minutes remaining on the clock. If you can, get Krampus to spawn with 30 minutes left, that's even better. This run, it's not perfect. I died twice, but anyways, getting Krampus started, I usually lure him towards the side of a wall. Luckily I got him in discordance right away, so that helped me with this fight quite a bit. But the wall thing is just so that his spawn is more easily controlled and you don't have to kill all of it, because man, there's just so much. Doing this Ironman style, is a little overwhelming the first time, just because the amount of spawn that Krampus has. It's kind of similar to the White Witch, but I feel like the White Witch you have more area to work with in that big room. I mean, this is also a very big area. You could spread the spawn out here a lot, but I'd rather just get Krampus down as quickly as I can, loot the chests so I'm sure that I've gotten all the main objectives of the Ironman completed, and then I can go back and kill the spawn, kill the additional mini-bosses, any of that extra stuff that's left over. Do that after the fact. Even with, only 2 deaths, this is still a pretty good run, and I'm not going to have a whole lot of time left over afterwards. So definitely always go for, killing Krampus and completing all the objectives, looting the chest, all that stuff as quickly as possible. Oh, and by the way, take lots of red potions for the fight with Krampus, because he does drain your stamina as he hits you. So if you can do it with a one-handed Vanquishing Slayer, even better. I was unequipping my spear a lot during that fight with Krampus. But anyways, yeah, save poison for the bear afterwards. Just provo the bear onto all the other minions here, clear all that stuff, and you should be good to go to loot the chests. Now, this was not my first time fighting Krampus, so I knew what to expect going in, and it was definitely much better than my first time fighting him, in which I died twice. So I got out of this one with about 10 minutes to kill him and his bear, so 16 minutes left to loot. The old timer, that would have been 1 minute, but thankfully that timer has an extra 15 on there, so I can actually comfortably loot the chest and kill the last 2 mini-bosses here for a chance at, the rare drops that they have, because it's the Flame Battle Mage and the Flame Assassin and all that have some really good rare drops, so you definitely want to clear them if possible. So that's what I'm doing with the last bit of time I have here. Just as kind of a quick recap, remember that before you even go into these scrolls, preparation is really key. It takes me like 10 or 15 minutes to gather up all the stuff I need and put it on a pack horse for this character. This guy's loadout is a little bit more than most, because the fire horns and ash and fire bombs and potions and just all the stuff. There's a lot of used up items that I come in with. My pack horse is almost full when I enter, with just tons of items, and then they're full with loot when I leave. So you don't have to go quite so extreme with that. If you're not using a firebard build, then I'd still recommend taking fire bombs, because when you have stationary targets like maybe the non-casting goats or some provoed flame warriors that have a lot of hit points, the fire bombs can really help burn their hit points down fast. And I mean, speed is really everything for these. That should be pretty much everything you need to know to either Ironman the Krampus scroll or just run it with some friends. As this is the most difficult scroll to Ironman, it's also got some of the greatest rewards. At the end of all of it, I came out with a little over 90,000 gold and a whopping 103 holiday coins from just that single run. And I got absolutely no rare drops. There was nothing in the chests, none of the mini bosses dropped anything for me, but still 90k and 103 holiday coins is a very good haul. So even without the rare drops, it's a very worthwhile thing to do if you can. That is all for this video. I exited the zone while still trying to kill more minions. If you have any comments or questions, always feel free to leave them. But until next time, thank you for watching, and hopefully I see you guys around sometime in-game.